Welcome back to Tales from the Glass-Guarded World. When we last left our linen lads, they had successfully fought back against Varen Bluefire and his raucous rapscallions. On their way out of the forest, they had a chance encounter with a mysterious bandaged stranger who claims to be working for Foresight. Is this stranger really working on behalf of Foresight? Wait, isn't Foresight dead? How does that work? What does all this have to do with the Iron Empire? And most importantly, what does this all have to do with the Lumpens? Let's find out now. Welcome. So Fancy Napkin Lumpin and Hempen Lumpin, you're at the fire with Paxton, sitting with this guy who is an elf who has bandages over his eyes, and he also seems to be writing using some sort of chalkboard. Other than that, though, he seems to be a pretty friendly guy. He's offered you food and is sitting with you around the fire. Paxton, he has just told you that he unfortunately must ask you to once again become a sword on behalf of Foresight. And that's where we left off.
I tell him we're already kind of on a mission. What are you asking me to do specifically?
He takes the board back and he writes something on it, and then he turns it back around and he says, "There is a monster living in the Iron Empire, responsible for thousands of deaths."
What kind of monster?
He takes the board back, he writes back, he says, "Not quite a person, but something like it."
Like someone who can change shape to look like someone else?
He looks at you for a second, and his eyes kind of bunch up like he's almost there's like a smile forming, but he takes the board back and he writes again on it, and he turns it around and he says, "Not the Iron Emperor, the one controlling him."
Ooh, okay. I'm interested. Continue. How do I do this?
He takes the board back and he writes for a long time, and he says, "Continue the quest you've already begun. Make your way to the Iron Empire and to the seat of the throne. As once there, I imagine you will encounter both the Iron Empire and the monster. The monster has to be dealt with if peace is going to be brought to this world. You'll know it when you see it."
Okay. Do you have any tips or advice for me on how to accomplish this?
He thinks about it for a second. He kind of taps his chin with his finger, and then he takes the board back and he writes on it. And he says, "You must prepare yourself for a battle like none you've ever encountered so far. To be completely honest, I cannot promise that any of you will survive. However, if you do not do this, things will continue to grow much, much worse."
Would this be saving the world?
He nods. Then he motions at the Lumpens and he writes on his board, "But I am glad to see that you have such valiant companions." And he gestures over to the Hempen Lumpen and then to Fancy Napkin Lumpen. And then right when he motions to Fancy Napkin Lumpen, Fancy Napkin says,
"Oh, I don't feel so good."
Fancy Napkin Lumpen explodes in a shower of sparks and crystals and confetti. And then standing in his place is Iron Lumpen.
Hi, Lumpin.
Iron Lumpen is just completely soaking wet, and he's covered in a couple of pieces of what looks like kelp. I tried to go swimming. I don't think I can.
Oh,
Wow.
where did you swim?
I don't know. There was just water everywhere, and I fell into it, and I tried to swim. I guess I can swim, but only straight down.
Oh, well, down is one direction. It's a good start. This is Lumpin. Lumpin, this is our friend. You didn't give us a name, did you?
He reaches over to shake your hand, Iron Lumpen.
Iron Lumpen reaches out one very soggy arm and says, "Hi, I'm Lumpen."
He nods and he smiles at you, and then after he shakes your little clothen hand, he wipes his hand off on his robe to get the moisture off.
So, Lumpin, he's telling us that we're supposed to go fight a monster and save the world, which was why we're here in the first place. So, great.
That sounds good. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
He laughs as you say that, but it's kind of a weird noise. It doesn't sound quite right, but it's a genuine laugh nonetheless.
I need an example.
Just that. How do
sounds like that.
yeah, like maybe like that.
Did you choke on your meat?
It sounds like when I had a sinus infection.
Mike, please just double that in.
Yeah.
He looks at you, Paxton, again, and he writes this on his board. He says, "It will be a difficult fight, so you may wish to pick up any friends you can along the way."
You're telling me that you seem like you already know about my current mission to the Iron Empire.
He nods.
How did you know about that?
He kind of grins a mischievous grin, and he writes on his board, and what you are about to do was planned a long time ago.
By foresight?
He just smiles at you.
Huh. So we're going along with a plan written by someone who isn't even around anymore?
He smiles at you again.
Is Foresight dead?
He gets a somber expression, but then he takes his board once again and he writes and turns back to you, and it says, "Foresight is truly dead." But then after a second, he takes the board back and he writes again something, and he turns it around to you and it says, "Foresight is truly dead," but then beneath it says, "Long live Foresight." And he takes it away from you and he erases it.
Foresight was pretty on the money about all the warnings about the rivers breaking and things heating up inside the glass so far. So, Foresight isn't necessarily my god of choice, but hasn't led us wrong yet. So, if you're saying that's what we have to do, I probably shouldn't be this naive, but I trust what you have to say.
So he takes his board back and he writes on it, and it turns it back to you, and it says, "Lee Tom, the one you knew as Foresight, was a wonderful man who cared greatly about this world and the people in it. You are right to follow his path."
So, if Foresight predicted all of this, then the doppelgangers were always destined to come into World 83 and take over the Iron Empire, and maybe more if we don't stop them. Is that what you're saying?
He just kind of shrugs at you.
Huh. If the Emperor, the Iron Emperor, is a doppelganger, and you're saying another monster is controlling the Emperor, but you're saying they are not another doppelganger.
He takes back and he writes and he turns around again. It says, "I can tell you they are not a doppelganger. And the Iron Emperor is himself truly despicable. However, he is not the true monster that will destroy this world."
So the doppelgangers are working for someone else?
He takes his board back and he shows it to you, and it says, "Most of them."
The most being the ones that are specifically within World 83.
He shakes his head.
So this monster that's controlling the Iron Emperor is not necessarily controlling all of the doppelgangers in World 83. Just a few?
He sighs and he takes his board back and he writes on it, and it says, "The monster isn't forcing the Iron Emperor to do anything, but it is leading him. All of the doppelgangers under the Iron Emperor's control are working for him and, in turn, this monster. However, I know that not all of them are followers of this campaign."
But you can confirm, to your knowledge, the Iron Emperor is a doppelganger.
He nods somberly. He gets up abruptly and he seems to like stretch, and he's kind of it seems like he's starting to put his campfire out and get ready to head out, and he takes his board and he says, "Unfortunately, there are a few things I must take care of before your climactic battle. Also, before I forget, your friend, Atulf, has been replaced by a doppelganger, as well as the ones with him."
When did that happen?
He just puts long ago. But then he turns to you again and he says, "It's up to you what you choose to do with that information. It may be dangerous to confront him now. I might wait, as he's already planning on taking you to the Iron Emperor."
This monster that is leading the Iron Emperor, is Atulf part of that or separate from that?
He looks at you and he says on his board, The one who is posing as a Tolf is a member of that organization.
So the monster that's leading the Iron Emperor is also leading a Tolf.
He nods at you.
Is this monster a bigger threat than the doppelgangers?
He nods.
Oh boy. Lumpens?
He writes on his board, he says, I must go, but if you can stop this monster, you may be able to stop the doppelgangers in so doing.
Oh, what's your name?
He just pats you on the shoulder, and then he turns around to make his way.
Nah.
Lumpen's paw has been in the air this whole time. He still looks like a velveteen rabbit.
Yeah. So you've got a little velveteen rabbit standing with you, as well as a little iron lumpen, and you're now in this clearing alone. This guy has gathered up his possessions and made his way onward. And you guys are now standing in a small clearing with a fire that has now gone out and is just embers.
He seems nice.
I had my hand up, but he wasn't listening. That's okay.
I don't think he could see it.
Oh, right. I was going to ask what or who Foresight was, but then it sounds like more important things came up. Atulf's asleep, right?
Oh, hopefully.
So you could do Zone of Truth while he's asleep, and then we could wake him up, and then we could talk to him.
I don't know if that's such a good idea.
No?
If you heard what that person said, right? About Atulf being a doppelganger?
Yeah, that's why we should zone it. Oh, wait. Do you want us to murder him first?
I don't know that we could.
I don't think we should murder our friend. He's our friend, right?
I don't think so.
Is he a friend or is he a doppelganger or is he both?
I think he's a doppelganger who replaced our friend.
Oh, so what happened to the real Atulf?
I really hope nothing bad, but that might be overly positive. I don't think a doppelganger can replace a person without doing something to the person first.
So then, and I pull out the notes that I've been taking on my lessons here. He hurt our friend, so we should kill him. And I start walking toward the camp.
Hold on.
Oh.
But we're not sure. We don't know. We need to do the zone thing to find out.
Yeah.
If we use Zone of Truth on Atulf, that will make him upset. The only thing we would use it for is to try to prove that he's a doppelganger, which wouldn't necessarily work. He could pass the save or just choose not to answer, which wouldn't really prove anything either way. And I don't know if we are in a position to be able to defeat Atulf right now. Like, if we got into a fight with him, he might just kill us all. So, Lumpens, I'm going to ask you to do something that's very difficult.
What's that?
I need you to pretend that you don't know any of the things that guy in bandages said to you. I need you to keep on pretending, for Atulf's sake, that we still think that he's Atulf. But don't trust him. Keep an eye on him. Does that make sense?
No.
Pretend Atulf is Atulf. Okay.
Don't let Atulf know that we know he's a doppelganger.
Are you asking us to lie?
I'm asking you not to reveal that you know the truth, which is kind of like a lie, but different.
Are princesses allowed to lie?
Yes.
Okay.
And on that note, you guys make your way back towards the campground that you were originally in. And as you leave the clearing and you make your way through the first copse of trees, you find Atulf standing against a tree, leaning back against it, with Atlas standing by him. I woke up Atulf, like you said, Paxton.
History check. Did I tell him to wake up Atulf, or did I just tell him to take watch?
You told him to wake up Atulf, but we'll say you remember doing that because it happened like 5 minutes ago.
That's fair.
Editor's note. Brian was actually completely right, and I was wrong. He did just ask Atlas to keep watch. He didn't ask him to wake up Atulf. I screwed that one up.
Not 5 minutes ago for this brain. As I walk back, I'm like, hey, Atulf, we heard something in the woods that we were concerned it might be a big creature or something, but
It was a dragon, and we fought it and killed it. I'm practicing lying.
Good one, bud. That's a good joke. Paxton looks very anxious.
He looks at you, Paxton, and he kind of eyes you for a second. Paxton, do you know what is best in life?
Yes, but why don't you go ahead and tell me?
It is to crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Yeah, that's about what I thought you'd say.
Don't forget that, Paxton.
Never.
And he turns around and he walks back and he taps Atlas as he's walking by, and Atlas kind of looks at you and then he turns and follows Atulf.
Iron Lumpen is going to poke Paxton with a wet hand and say, "What's a woman?"
Oh, we learned what women want. A woman told me. You were there, weren't you? Wait, was it Iron Lumpen was there, right?
I think Iron Lumpen was there. You had that
Yeah, we learned what
conversation.
women want.
Oh, I think my head is still soggy.
Oh. Here, hold on a sec. I reach up and I grab Iron Lumpen's head and I just start twisting it. And water drips out.
It's like a bucket of water comes out of my head. Oh, thank you.
No problem, buddy.
So the sun ring is slowly brightening, letting down a cascade of light along the trees and the distant mountain peaks. Paxton, even though you have only spent a short time outside of the World 83, you do kind of miss the strange new colors that you saw with this orb sun outside. However, as the ring sun brightens, you get back to the camp, and you see that Atulf has already woken up Gormand, and they are starting to pack up and get ready to head out.
I'll pack up and get ready to head out too, and I'm keeping the Lumpens near me to not only protect them from potential doppelgangers, but also to make sure that they don't start saying anything weird, as they are wont to do.
Good luck.
The hay hasn't grown tall enough, but I guess you could hit it now.
You see, Paxton, there's these little, tiny little stems of hay coming out of one spot over there on the ground.
Paxton pulls out his holy short sword of radiance and tries to slash it across the ground to, like, cut grass.
Roll an attack for me.
This might be the funniest time to roll in that one.
You accidentally cut off Hempin Lumpen's leg.
That's a modified 20.
Oh, nice. So yeah, you leave that puppy just clean as a whistle. The ground is now just flat. All the hay has been hit.
Did you see that, Lumpen?
I'm covering where Julie's eyes might be if she had eyes.
You're not sure how she would be affected by this just wanton violence against plant life.
Consider that hay hit.
You guys make your way onward from there. You're continuing up the Ardanianel River, kind of along the coast. Atulf has let you know that basically the best way to get across is probably to find a thinner part of the river so that you can hopefully see if you can find a ferry or something else along the way, maybe even if it's shallow enough to swim across.
I'm trying to remember what Bandage Guy told me, which is that I should get a team together, and I'm trying to remember where did Epilema and Athelflaed go? They ran off to start a brewery somewhere. Was that in Arrival, or was it in the Iron Empire?
Yes, we need to hear your Epilema voice.
Yeah. I'm gonna kill you. No, it was, they went to Binghamton, which actually is in the Iron Empire. So it is possible for you to go there on your way.
I ask Atulf, I'm like, hey, Atulf, do you know where in the Iron Empire Binghamton is, and if it's close to the capital?
He says, it is not close to the capital, but it is on the way. So it is possible for us to stop by there on the way to Fort Ironcrown.
Okay, yeah, let's make plans to stop in Binghamton, because I have some friends that I'd like to see, and maybe they could join us. More the merrier, right?
It should be possible, although I'm not sure how much help they can give to us. It is mostly a bunch of halflings.
Yep.
It's racist.
Well, he's the bad guy, guys. You know he's the bad guy now. Bad guys are racist.
Nobody with that kind of an accent could be evil or racist.
That's actually going to be our new way to figure out who's a doppelganger and who's not. Who's racist against halflings?
Who's racist?
We're looking for more friends. We could get some right away. Would you like me to make us a friend?
Is it a plant?
Yeah. Trees are very strong.
Yeah, we need friends that we can take with us, though, and I don't think a tree is...
Oh, no, they can walk.
They probably don't want to get on a boat with us. They probably want to stay put.
Oh, you want to ask?
Let's try to make some friends closer to our destination. How about that?
Okay. But I could make us a new friend every day.
If you want to make friends, that's fine. I'm not going to stop you, but it's a lot of responsibility taking care of a friend, and it'll be on you. I'm giving him the, parent of a child that wants a pet talk.
Well,
You have to feed them and water them and walk them.
trees get their food from the sun. So, I think that would be okay.
Go for it.
Do you want a tree NPC ally?
The tree we met during the trial seemed nice.
Yeah. What do you think determines whether a tree is going to be a jerk or not?
The accent.
If its bark is worse than its bite.
Some of them are pretty nutty. Maybe we should just leave them alone for now.
I feel like I should stop this from happening.
You're not rooting for our puns?
Oh, I did want to say I would like to give all of you guys inspiration. You guys have all gotten inspiration from your terrible puns.
Yay.
Hey, that's all it takes. We just have to keep making puns until he rewards us.
Until he stops you with inspiration. Just have to get to the point where I'm sick of it and just throw out inspiration in order to get you to quit. On the river is huge. As you guys can barely see the other side of it, as you guys now are at the point where you're walking alongside of it. It continues onward. You do feel like it is starting to narrow a little bit till eventually. So a whole another day goes by, or another 2 days goes by, and that you finally see a little wooden shack, kind of along the edge of the river. And as you make your way towards it, you actually see a woman sitting outside the shack. She's sitting on a barrel, and she's surrounded by a small group of children who she appears to be teaching. When she sees your group approaching, she says something to the children, and they begin to disperse.
We're still floating down the river, or we're walking on land?
You're walking on land down. You're trying to figure out a way to get across the river to the Iron Empire.
Gotcha.
Because you're still in the Great Forest right now.
What happened to our boat?
You never had a boat. Sorry. You had a boat a long time ago. It was the boat that took you to Veggietown over on the northwest coast. But now you have made your way all the way through the Great Forest, and now you're on the completely opposite coast.
Okay, so we're walking along the river. We are not floating down the river on our old boat.
No, yeah. You are
Okay.
You are walking down the side or the coast of the river trying to look for a crossing.
That was Charles's boat, right?
That was a Tolf's boat.
Yeah, we didn't take Charles's boat.
Yeah, Charles offered a different boat, but you guys took a Tolf's boat because he said it was faster and more secretive. And it was called the Secret.
And he's just leaving it in Veggietown, huh?
Yeah. We should have sunk it.
That's what a doppelganger would do. He doesn't care about that boat.
I mean, you do remember there were some sketchy characters on that boat,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's true. We did learn that one of them was for sure a doppelganger. He revealed himself to us. They were probably all doppelgangers.
Seems like it.
Yeah, One-Eyed William turned out to be a doppelganger later on.
Well, this lady seems like she's a teacher of the kids. Is she on the same side of the river as us, or on the opposite side?
She's on the same side as you guys. She has a little shack, and you actually see at this little shack, there seems to be kind of like a boathouse attached to it as well, and there's a little small raft attached to the boathouse.
Can you describe what, you said she was teaching some children.
Yeah.
Is she got a book out, or she got a piece of paper and a chalkboard or something, or what's the situation?
She had a book that she was reading to him out of and teaching him, but she's kind of set that book aside. As you get closer, she appears to be a young half-elf woman with reddish, almost pink hair.
I would immediately walk over to where the children were sitting and just sit down and look up at her.
She looks down at you and she says, "Hello, lad. What can I do for you? What can I teach you today?"
Whatever you were teaching the other children would be great.
So you want to learn your numbers, eh?
Okay.
All right, well, this is a 1. This is a 2. This is a 3. This is a 4. And she goes through, she starts teaching you what all the different numbers are. And she's actually taking out little pebbles to kind of show you what each number represents in the actual amount.
Just watching. Rapt.
And as she's going through that, she finally looks up at you, Paxton, standing there with a Tolf and these other 2 elven guards. And, "Hello, what can I do for you fine gents?"
You wouldn't happen to know of a way we could cross this river, would you?
She kind of eyes you a little bit and she goes, "Passage to the Empire, eh? Them's dangerous waters. Crossing over without papers is illegal."
I look over at Atolf and I say, "Do we have papers?"
He shakes his head at you.
So we just need to not get caught?
"Yes, but it may cost you a little bit to get over, considering the dangers and all."
How much are we talking?
"I'll be honest, it's not usually my job to barter for the money. Let me see if my brother's around." She looks over and she sees that there's another half-elf guy. He's very tall and imperious, and he's actually kind of rowing back towards this side on a separate raft. And as he gets closer, she goes, "Oi, Drek! Drek! Come here!" And this half-elf, whose name appears to be Drek, he makes his way to where you guys are. "Hello. How can I help you, fine gentlemen?"
Can we finish the lesson first? I want to know what happened after the 7, 8, the 9.
Oh, that's a great question. So 7, 8, 9, and then 6 is now afraid of the 7. Do you know, actually, too, this 0 right here, do you know what he said to the 8?
What did he say?
He said, "Nice belt!"
Oh, that's pretty good.
As she's continuing on with these different number jokes. I'll take it from here, Ranid. You gentlemen look like you're off on a journey. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you almost are eyeing the other coast. Am I correct in my assumption?
You got it, bud.
I will be honest. Me and my sister Ranid are but humble coyotes, and we may have helped a few people to their salvation in the past, but usually there is a cost of such services.
Yeah.
I tug on Paxton's robe or whatever to get his attention.
Yeah?
I think they're lying. They're half-elves, not coyotes. Coyotes look like this. And I transform into one.
They both stumble back as you do. Oh, well, that's a neat trick. Yes, that's... wow. I was not expecting that, if I'm being honest.
I look at Lumpen and I say, correct me if I'm wrong, you're using coyotes in this situation like how we use it in real life.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I look...
They're apparently smugglers of people.
Yeah, that's what I tell Lumpen. They're not literal coyote animals. They are smugglers of people.
Oh, I thought they could turn into people.
Yeah.
No, that'd be a great trick if I could do that. But no, we just help people find a better place.
We don't want to go to a better place. We want to go to the Iron Empire.
Well, there would certainly be a cost of unusual services, considering we're usually helping smuggle people away from the Iron Emperor.
Okay, so what's your price?
Well, let's see. Transportation costs, labor, rapids insurance, snacks, carry the 2. Let's see. That comes out to 4,000 gold for the lot of you.
What? Is that a lot?
That's a lot.
I look at Atolf and I'm like, Atolf, you've got all the money. Sure you can negotiate with this fine coyote.
First of all you guys roll an insight check.
Oh, net 20.
Wow.
But minus
I
1.
only got...
So 19.
I got... Whoa! Since when do I have +7? 22.
I got a natural 1 and I used my inspiration to re-roll it and get a 21.
Is that true?
Nice.
Did you
I really
really?
got a nat 1, used my inspiration and got a 12.
Well, I was going to say, so your insight check, what it reveals is that Raynid, she looks at Drek and obviously kind of gives him a side eye when he quotes that price. Like, obviously, this is a little bit ridiculous for him to ask that much. But I'll carry over that insight check. And Atolf, I do not have that much money. And he seems to be telling the truth.
How wide is this river?
The river, it's pretty significant, and it seems to be the water is still rushing by pretty fast.
Is it so fast and rushing that it would be difficult for example, a crocodile to cross it?
Maybe not a crocodile. I mean, it is. We'll say it's about half a mile though, so it's like, it's a decent ways.
Too bad a giant crocodile is too high a challenge rating.
What is half a mile in kilometers? I'm sorry for all the Canadian listeners out there.
You mean you're sorry?
And players.
It's like a third of a kilometer, I think.
Oh, it's like 800 meters? That's not so bad. I really have no concept of half a mile, so it was actually really important for me to check that.
Yeah, what's a mile? Like, it's a very easy number to remember. It's like 5,163 feet or something weird.
5,280, because I remember learning that it's 5 tomatoes. 5280. It's the worst measurement system in the world.
But it's the most free.
The Americans are nuts.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Freedom measurements.
Speaking of free, maybe I can negotiate with this person, Drek. Is that their name?
Well, so what are you going to say to try and negotiate?
I'm going to ask him. I'm going to say I have healing abilities. Is there anyone in any of these children, or you or your sister, or anyone in your family that is injured that I could maybe provide some healing services to?
And Lumpens and I don't need snacks. We don't eat.
Well, I do have a daughter at home, but she is not sick. However, she does eat a lot, and food requires a lot of money, you see. And so money would really be our asking price.
Oh, wait, how much food do you need?
But Raynid, she looks at Drek and she says, I don't know, Drek. They look like nice types. Just look at the little wee rag lads. You know, maybe we can make a trade or something.
You're not talking about trading for the Lumpens, right?
No, I'm not. I can't take the little wee lads. That's not. We're not slave traders. We help people find their freedom. All right, but roll a persuasion check for me, Paxton.
You're trying to persuade her to take us?
Yeah.
It's an 8 + 1, a 9. Say, how would you like to give your daughter a brand new cursed sword? No, I'm kidding.
Well, that's quite the offer. But that is a nice sword you have on your waist there. Wow, that's quite nice. And he looks at your what is it called? The sword of
Holy Short Sword of Radiance.
Holy Short. Yeah, he looks at your Holy Short Sword of Radiance and seems to be eyeing it.
Hold on just a second. I have an idea. Okay, so I'm not telling him this out loud, but as part of my Eldritch Knight class, I have weapon bond, and I have an arcane bond between my weapon and my sword, and that I can't be disarmed of the weapon, and I can summon it as a bonus action to my hand so long as it's on the same plane of existence. So I say, I'm trying to do, I don't know if it's a persuasion check or a deception check, but I say, yeah, you like this sword? It's really rare.
Everybody's favorite cleric, ladies.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the person that we just defended his honor in a trial.
I've got no love for coyotes. That's bad people. It's okay to scam scammers.
I look up at you, tilt my head in a doggy fashion because I'm still shaped like a coyote.
Oh. So, I mean, keep in mind they're telling you that they help people escape the Iron Empire into freedom and the Great Forest. But
yeah, but they're also trying to charge me $4,000.
That's fair. So, all right, roll a deception check for me.
All right.
And I'm going to tell you, you're going to try and beat. He's pretty good. You're trying to beat a 16.
How about a 17?
Okay, so he considers it for a second. He goes, yes, I believe that might be a fair enough price. Do you have anything else you can throw in?
Man, I don't think you understand how powerful this sword is. It gives you +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls. It's magic, and it does extra damage against fiends, and once per day you can do a radiant sphere to continually emit radiant energy in a 10-foot radius, inflicting 2d6 damage per round until deactivated.
2d6? What? Damage rolls? What? I don't... What are you... What?
It hurts.
Are you a madman?
hurts.
Maybe it's... Okay,
I could give you some of these berries. It will make your daughter feel full. I hand you some good berries.
Okay, well, maybe that is kind of you to offer. Oi, Drac! Oh, look at him. They're so generous. Come on, Drac. Let's let him across. Very well, very well. All right, I'll take the sword and the good berries, and we'll arrange for your passage.
I hand him the sword.
Yeah, he picks it up, he kind of eyes it over,
Actually,
and he goes,
no, I'm going to hold on to the sword until you prove to me that you can get us across. I'm not going to be stranded without my sword if you decide to ditch us, which coyotes are known to do.
Well, could you offer me anything as collateral?
I'll offer you the sword when we get to the other side.
All right, what about the knife as collateral? Any motions to the knife that's also at your waist?
Yeah, this is a pretty nice knife, too. Gives +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls and is also a magic weapon.
Once again, I have no idea what damage roll means.
That's fine if you don't know much about weapons, you know.
I could just carry you across, Paxton. It's not a big deal.
I'll take the knife and I'll use it, and it will be collateral until we reach the other side, and then I'll take the sword from you.
Okay, sounds good.
Right, and so he takes the knife from you. He bids goodbye to Ranid. All right, well, good luck, lads. Have fun storming the castle.
Bye.
So Drek, he gets on the ferry that he just came back across on, and all right, well, climb aboard, gentlemen. And all the Atolf and the two elves with him, they climb on, and as well as the rest of you guys, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Lumpen definitely ties himself to somebody else because now he knows that if he falls overboard, he'll just sink.
So roll a sleight of hand for me, Iron Lumpen.
Right, sleight of hand. 13.
Okay, yeah, you do pretty well. You tie yourself to Paxton's leg. Yeah, so
I just float along behind them.
Sir, are you switching into a hempen crocodile?
No, I'm just flying because I can do
that's
that.
right. I guess all of you guys can just fly. I forgot about that. So you guys are making your way across, and you guys are just slowly making your way. Drek has like a pole that he will kind of run along each side to make sure that you guys stay upright and make sure that you guys are making your way forward. He asks you, Paxton, if you'd be willing to help out with another pole.
Sure.
You guys together make your way across pretty handily. As you guys are going across, you see Drek. He actually looks like he feels a little bit guilty, and he, as you're making your way and you're almost over there, he goes, "I'll be honest. I'm a bit sorry. I 4,000 was a little bit ridiculous, and I apologize. I thank you for the sword, sir."
Yeah, no problem.
So you guys make your way, and you finally get to the other side, and he seems to kind of like duck a little bit lower now. He says, "All right, well, just I bid you gentlemen adieu. It's been a pleasure meeting you, pleasure doing business with you. I pray that you maintain your safety while you're here, and I'll tell you what, if you need a ride back out, I'll throw it in at no cost."
I appreciate that.
Very well. Goodbye. And he gets back on the raft, and he makes his way away from you guys. I was going to say, he took the sword from you before he left and gave you your knife back.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like we're about to make an enemy.
Yeah, we're not getting the ride back.
So you guys now make your way southward along the roads of the Iron Empire. Every now and then you guys will see kind of a passing group of soldiers mounted on horses. They don't seem to really pay you any mind. They just kind of treat you as if you're just the normal traveler along the roads. They seem to probably be on their way northward towards the Steel Keep, which is at the very northeastern edge of the world.
Brian, did you summon your sword back, or are you just leaving it till you need it?
I am leaving it until I can get a moment away from the Lumpens, because I don't want them to necessarily see me summon it back and have the conversation with them that I scammed that guy. So
That's the conversation I was looking
Yeah.
forward to.
so I'm gonna say, hey guys, hold on a minute. I gotta go take care of some business. If you know what I mean. I'm like really exaggerating it.
So you are going to say you're going to, step away for a little bit to take care of some business?
I'm gonna heavily imply that I'm about to go to the bathroom, but I'm not gonna say which bathroom that I'm going, and that I would like privacy, please.
All right, so roll a deception check because Tolf is also a little. He's kind of looking at you as you're saying this.
It's a 10.
All right, Lumpens, why don't you roll an insight for me?
I mean, I have 17 passive insight. So. Plus, okay. 20, can you do 23?
1 for Iron Lumpen.
So Tolf definitely kind of looks at you, Paxton, but then he just kind of shakes his head and doesn't care. But Paxton definitely seems to be lying about something.
He just comes back with his sword back on his belt.
Look what I found in the woods, guys.
When you said you were conducting business, you mean you were buying a new sword. It looks just like your old one.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. I am trying my hardest. I'm not like giving a big backstory of how I found it. I'm just trying to let it flow as on the down low as I can. Make this like not an event. Like, yeah, I found a sword. It's fine.
Super casual.
I have a hard time having rolled 23 for my insight. Paxton,
Mm-hmm.
did you really find that sword? Because it looks a lot like the sword that you gave the coyote person.
Do you think that coyote was asking for a fair price of 4,000 gold to cross the river?
I don't know what 4,000 gold is for.
Well,
I have never bought anything except for this wand, and you gave me the money for it.
yeah. But that wand was worth the money that I gave you for it. Well,
Yeah.
it was not worth 4,000 gold to cross that river. And, you know, coyotes, they're helping people, but they're also taking money from people. And they were trying to scam us by asking for 4,000 gold. So I just kept my sword, is all. And it's fine.
So, are you saying when is it okay to lie to somebody and steal from them? And I have my parchment out, and I've got a quill poised, ready to write down the Gospel of Paxton.
You shouldn't lie and steal, Lumpin.
But you can do it?
I didn't lie or steal.
Did you not lie about the sword and steal a boat ride?
He asked me for the sword, and I gave him the sword.
Oh. So he was just borrowing the sword.
I throw the sword in the woods, and then I summon it back to my hand.
Huh.
You see?
Okay. Did he know that was going to happen?
To be fair, he didn't ask. I never said that he'd get to keep the sword. I said I'd give him the sword. And I did, didn't I?
I guess. So it's okay to lie to somebody when you don't agree about the price of things. And I start writing that
When did
down.
I lie to him? I never lied to him. I never told him he'd get to keep the sword forever. He asked if he could have it, and I said I'd give it to him. And I did give it to him.
Okay.
Paxton is starting to, like, sweat and look very worried that he's now questioning his own ethics.
Okay.
It's like, I thought it was fine, but is it?
I get it, and I like give him sort of the physical impression that I'm winking. Of course, I can't actually wink because my eyes are made of buttons, but one of my buttons falls off, and I pick it up again and sew it back on.
Hey, did you write anything in the book?
Yeah.
Paxton looks like he's going to be sick, and he's trying to desperately grab the book to see what Lumpin wrote in it.
I'll just put this away.
So as you guys continue walking, you hear a Tolf say, "A bunch of sleazy con men in chain suits."
He says that about me?
Yeah, you hear him whispering that about you.
Huh. You never used to be this judgmental, Atolf. What's up?
Con men, thieves, degenerates, lowlifes, thugs, criminals. That is what you are.
Oh, yeah? I'm sorry you feel that way. If that's really how you feel, why are you on the road with me?
We are here to fight for the greater good.
And maybe you should focus on that.
He doesn't say anything to you, and he just continues walking forward.
Paxton is getting very concerned about how this situation is going to play out.
Yeah. You continue your way southward, and eventually you guys see the road actually dips downward into, it appears to be almost like a little canyon. So this has been now a couple days of you guys traveling southward. You've seen a couple patrols, but none of them have stopped to bother you. Until finally, you guys, the road dips down to a canyon. There's kind of trees cresting the lip of it. And as you make your way down the slopes of this canyon, there's actually two halflings with pikes standing at the sides of the road.
Are they dressed in Iron Empire outfits?
They both have like pins, like black pins with like the sign of the Iron Empire on them, but other than that, they don't really seem to be dressed as like soldiers or anything like that.
I look at Atolf and I'm like, is this where we're going to need papers?
I believe this is the entrance to Binghamton. It is possible, but most of the people in Binghamton are not the brightest because they are halflings, so it is possible that we will be able to get by them.
Are halflings not very smart?
I have not met very many bright halflings.
Good to know. Okay. So I guess we should just go talk to them, huh?
You make your way forward, and one of the halflings goes, "Oh, who goes there?"
It's us.
And they look at each other confused, and they go, us who?
All of us.
I had hoped you had a punchline.
Well,
Gesundheit.
do you have your papers?
Atolf, you have our papers, right?
Atolf looks at you with like a glare in his eyes.
I might have left them in my other jacket.
He's not wearing a jacket.
Well, Atolf, why would you bring us all the way to the Iron Empire without papers? I thought you planned this vacation.
Atolf, I thought you said the halflings were the stupid ones.
He gets very frustrated and he goes,
Is it possible, gentlemen, that we might be able to get by you? Perhaps we could pay you for your trouble.
and one of them, the one on the left, his eyes seem to kind of light up when he says that, and the other one, his eyes darken.
Would you like this nice sword?
Do you actually say that?
Yes, why not?
All right, so roll persuasion, Hemp and Lumpens.
14.
All right, so the one on the left, hey, that actually is a pretty nice sword. Let me look at that. And he comes up to you, Paxton, to kind of look at your sword.
He hands him the sword.
And the other one goes, "Hey, Kingsbury, you can't just take things from people. We have to charge for papers." And the other guy says, "No, don't worry about it, Bradbury. Don't worry about it. It's a nice sword. Let's just let him pass." And Bradbury, he goes, "You suck at your job, Kingsbury." Kingsbury just snorts and he doesn't seem to care. He goes, "All right, move along." And he waves you by.
But they take the sword.
I glance over at Paxton and my left button eye falls off again.
So yeah, they take the sword from you, Paxton.
Okay. This might be a little bit trickier than the boat people because these guards could come after us. I asked the guard before we go, is there any place in town where we could get papers?
He looks at you. He's like, "Are you serious? Are you really? I'm a guard. I can't tell you to do something illegal. That's no. You.
Where do people get papers if they don't have them?
Upon entrance into the Iron Empire, dummy.
This is our entrance. You're being a very rude host.
All right, just get out of here, bud." And he walks away and resumes his post.
So I take it that I can't just go get papers from the BMV or something.
No, it doesn't seem to work that way.
Okay.
Yeah, but you guys make your way down this ravine, and it appears to be a very lively little town down here at the bottom of the ravine. You hear people calling out for the different ale houses. All these ale houses actually seem pretty empty, though. most of the people seem to like be standing in the streets, basically trying to get people to go in there. And actually, most of the halflings walking by are actually walking in a completely different direction. They all seem to kind of be going towards a central location.
I want to flag one of the, if there's a halfling that looks like a drinker,
Sure.
I want to flag one down and say, hey, friend, would you happen to know where I could find some brewers named Epilema and Athelflad?
You wanna buy Epilema and Athelflad?
Yeah.
Yeah, just follow everybody else, bud.
Is that where you're going?
Yeah, that's where I'm going. Yeah, you can follow me.
All right. I'll follow you then.
All right. Hey, what's your name? What's your name, bud?
I'm Paxton. I was going to say I'll buy you a beer when I get there, but I don't have any money.
You have a sword.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, I'll buy you a beer, bud. I'll buy you a beer. Yeah. Don't worry about it. I got you, buddy. We're friends
I
now.
appreciate that. What's your name?
My name is. One second. My name is Ackley. Ackley the Halfling.
Ackley the Halfling.
That's right.
All right, Ackley.
Yeah, but you can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late to dinner.
Good one.
Thanks. And he continues kind of stumbling along. And keep in mind, this is, at this point, it's probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Thank you for helping me and my friends get acclimated to this new city.
You used my name as a joke.
Yeah. You halflings like that stuff, right?
Yeah, we love it. We just love that stuff.
Cool.
He makes his way forward, and eventually you guys see everybody seems to be crowding towards this huge alehouse. It's gigantic. It's massive, and there's people just crowding all around it. You hear people chattering and talking about it, and the name of it is Ales from the Glass-Guarded World.
Yeah.
I knew you'd do that. Yes, my silly name is canon now.
That's right. And so Ales from the Glass-Guarded World is this huge thing, and there's actually a painting on it of a very burly, muscular halfling like downing a mug of beer.
Does it look like Epilema?
Now that you've looked at it, it does actually kind of look like Epilema.
Do I see any signs that look like Athelflad?
You are getting closer and closer to the door, and you're making your way, but it is tough to get through the crowd. It is difficult to make it your way through this just massive crowd that is surrounding this place.
You want some help with that?
Yeah, you... Lumpen, you see that picture up there of the super muscular female halfling?
Yeah.
Do you think you could turn into an animal and go inside and find that person?
Okay.
Go in there and tell them that Paxton wants to talk to them and that he's outside.
Okay. And I transform into a massive, terrifying bear, and I roar to disperse the crowd.
Paxton wants to see Epilema.
All right, roll an intimidation check with advantage for me.
17.
So as you roar and scream into the crowd begins to part, and people are just making their way out of the way. So you see everybody has moved now out of the way, and standing there is actually a little halfling woman standing at the opening to the door.
Hey guys,
Hi.
Hello.
how are you?
Hello. I was going to joke if this was going to happen. I did not actually expect it to.
I was wondering.
I was focusing on Epilena because I'm like, there's no way we're going to be able to get Danielle to get back on here. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's what your non-Ethelfled voice sounds like.
Yeah.
And that will be where we stop for the night. Just have to get to the point where I'm sick of it and just throw out inspiration in order to get you to quit.
It's very Pavlovian, like, how long until you stop giving us inspiration?
That's right.
I'm surprised you weren't sick of us, like, 8 episodes ago.
That's a good call. Yeah, it took me a while. Yeah, so I'll be honest. These are actually named after my siblings. My brother is Derek, and my sister is Randy, with an I.
Thought you were going to say your brother's name is Drek.
So
What about me? Awesome.